Hello, hello. Who do we have out here today? Hey, Ray. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, why, hello. Hello to you too, Aramore. Wait, I feel like... Okay. I feel like I need to do... There we go, yeah. You got it. I need to open. I need to remember. I gotta open with that. Hello. Hello, hello, everybody. What's up, Shiro? Ah, good to be back. Teague, hello, hello, Teague. Happy Monday, everybody. Ready for some housing. This is going to be an interesting one. I guess, I mean, not to say that our other ones are not interesting, but certainly I am pretty excited for this one in a different kind of way than I have been for some of the other topics that we've done. Since this one is going to be like, I guess, yeah, I think the way I've described it in my head, and I think I said it in one of the blurbs or something, is like, it's kind of going back to what we did on the very first streams that I did here with the aquascape and that kind of thing, where we're going to take at least 2 streams here and try to really like build something kind of specific and hopefully very interesting and beautiful. So, and I know this is a topic, ikebana. This is something that not a lot of people are necessarily very familiar with. So I'll also be trying to give a little bit of background as to what this is and kind of like some of the bit of philosophy behind it and that kind of thing. To hopefully maybe inspire some people to like take interest in it, take a look at it. That'd be kind of cool. Or just so people kind of know what I'm even talking about. Yeah, it'll be fun. I think this will be pretty interesting. I'll do my best. Also, man, the OBS takes quite a while to update its viewer count. It's like, it was at 0 viewers until just a few seconds ago, and then it says 1 viewer. But that's impossible, because look at all of you here. Like, just Deimos right here, saying hello. That's already the 1. What about all the other people here? What's up, Deimos? How you doing, man? How's your Monday going? Not much going well. That's good. Glad to hear it. I mean, sometimes for a Monday, that's kind of all you hope, right? You don't want to like get into the office or wherever, clock in, and everything's on fire. So sometimes not much going well. That is the A+ answer right there. Let's see, what was this again? Ironwood lumber. Ironwood log. I could gather this probably, huh? Is my gathering high enough for this? Just I already know a couple of these items that we're gonna want to build for this. So I'm just gonna start while we're catching up and people are kind of coming into the stream. I'm gonna go gather a couple of these items. Save myself a little bit of money. Man, it's been a while since I've... Where am I going? There we go. It's been a while since I've actually been out in the world doing stuff here. Let's see. Do I remember how to gather? There we go. What's the strategy here? Our expert crafters and gatherers out there, what's the most optimal way to gather lumber? I mean, not that I need like thousands of this or anything like that, but I mean, I figure I might not be doing this the most optimal, best way. Is it this? Use Nofika's tiding? I don't know. Oh crap, clicked the wrong thing. Well, that's dumb. Uh-oh, wrong way. So out of curiosity, how many people here have ever heard of ikebana or know what it is? I might explain this one or two times throughout the stream as people kind of come in and people aren't really sure. But out of curiosity, for anybody who's currently with us right now, do you know what that is? Okay, so Deimos... But you were trying to incorporate Japanese style in your apartment rebuild this morning. What were you trying to do, Deimos, out of curiosity? How about Teague, Aramore, Ray, Shiro? Do you guys have any idea what ikebana is, or ever heard of it? Teague is saying, my mother used to have a book we kept on the coffee table about ikebana. Interesting, okay. Question though, did you ever read the book or even look at the book? Because like, I feel like that's a great coffee book table, or sorry, a coffee table book. But it's also the kind of book that I feel like, totally understandably, many people would just completely glaze over. Be like, I don't know what that is. Like, I don't really understand, you know? And Deimos saying, you don't know the terms, but you're just trying to emanate the vibe. And honestly, that's all you need to try to do sometimes, right? I mean, I think there's so much to love about the Japanese aesthetic. Out of curiosity, so are you trying to capture like a modern kind of Japanese aesthetic, you know? Or are you going more for like feudal or, you know, like, I guess, traditional Japan, that kind of thing? Because that in itself is already something, right? So you could have like modern, minimal Zen. You could also be going for like a, you know, cyberpunky, you know, modern even Tokyo kind of thing. Then there's like, I guess, like more traditional temples and samurai kind of era vibe stuff. I think usually when people say they're building Japanese stuff in this game, they're usually referring to Hingen, like Shirogane, right? I mean, the look of the castles and building stuff in Shirogane, which is very much of a traditional kind of Japanese sort, versus the modern kind of look. And Aramore says, I'm showing my ethnocentricity. You've only heard about it from what you've talked about. Okay, cool. No worries. No, I mean, like, I think that's cool. I think one of the reasons I think I kind of wanted to do this stream was similar to the Aquascape thing where, again, understandably, I think a lot of people have maybe never heard of this, and maybe would never hear about it unless I talk about it a little bit. So instead of just calling it like flower arrangement, I thought I would throw in the actual Japanese term there, so that way people kind of do know what we're talking about. And here, while I am synthesizing these this lumber, we can start talking about kind of what this is. And again, I might repeat this once or twice just to make sure people are kind of people who come in a bit later still understand the concept. Let's get to carpenter. Okay, craft, quick synthesis. Oh, it'll be not that many. There we go. Oh, I might need to go buy some on the market board then. Okay, so ikebana, right? Ikebana is the Japanese term which loosely translates to arranging flowers or making flowers alive. Actually, here, I'm going to pull up good old Wikipedia, which is, of course, the omni source of truth. I say that half jokingly, but honestly, I mean, it's pretty great these days, right? So here we go, right? I'm gonna read the whole Wikipedia article, but I think it helps give you an initial taste of this kind of thing, right? So I picked out a couple little bits of this that I think kind of helps sum it up pretty nicely. So the gist of ikebana is that it's the Japanese term for flower arrangement, but it's a bit more than just putting flowers in a vase, right? So similar to, let me get back in the apartment here. So if you can see the image here, right? Let me maybe make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so, right, here you go. Ikebana, there's a little image here of sort of an arrangement of flowers. And then even down here, you can see a couple more. You've probably seen this in Japanese movies or just looking at Japanese art and that kind of thing, right? It's this very minimalistic looking take on a flower arrangement, right? So you're probably used to wedding bouquets and these kinds of things, which are really extravagant and they have like a ton of flowers popping out of them and, you know, that kind of thing. That's a very beautiful style of flower arrangement too, but I think the whole idea with ikebana is very much in line with the Japanese like Zen Buddhism kind of mentality of things, where it's about the perfecting of the craft. You know, it's about taking time to really appreciate every little aspect of a branch of a flower, of the way that the flowers are positioned with each other. There's a lot of symbolism that goes into these. And so it even says here, right, is ikebana is counted as one of the 3 classic Japanese arts of refinement. So along with kodo for incense appreciation and chado for tea ceremonies, basically, right? So you can kind of see how that all goes together in terms of, I guess, what you'd probably typically think of as like very Zen Buddhism kind of practices, basically, right? Refining something, the technique of something to the nth degree, and thinking about all the little symbolism things about that. So, okay, without going through the rest, there's this whole big article thing here, but basically a big takeaway here is basically this little bit here, which is that it's more than simply putting flowers in a container. Ikebana is a disciplined art form in which nature and humanity are brought together, and it's meant to emphasize other areas of the plant besides just the flowers, right? So I think a lot of flowers, you kind of mostly go for just like a really extravagant looking bouquet with a lot of colors and everything. But with ikebana, a big thing is it's about the overall shape of the display as a whole. Okay, so it says here too, right? Like it includes the leaves, the stems, and puts a lot of emphasis on shape, line, and form, right? So ikebana is an expression of creativity with certain rules that govern its form, such as the ideas of good and evil fortune in the selection of materials and the form of the arrangement. And okay, so without getting too heady about that, the basic gist of this is that ikebana has a deep-rooted practice in like as a traditional kind of art form in Japan, right? That being said, so the thing about I I guess, ikebana and many of the sort of Japanese art forms, and you could argue maybe art forms in general, is that there's a very traditional take on it, and then there's maybe like a bit more of a modern take on this, right? I would actually say it's maybe traditional structured versus like creative expressive, right? So we're going to go a little bit more in the creative expressive route, right? And that's so to say that very traditional ikebana. And so I want to make the disclaimer right here. I am not a ikebana expert. So like, sorry if anybody like pops in this stream or watches this VOD and is like an actual ikebana super mega aficionado. I want to make it clear up front. I don't pretend that I'm like a super expert on this. I just really appreciate the art form and kind of the thinking mindset that goes into creating these kinds of pieces. So what I'm going to be doing is leaning away from the traditional hyper-structured version of this and going into the more creative, expressive version of this. So to say that there are competitions where they do things like ikebana, and there would be different categories. So like, I've often seen it happen where there are two different categories that get judged. One is on the very traditional side. So it might be something like this, right? Where when we had this very first little illustration here, right? This is probably a better example of like the very traditional one, where it's very minimalistic. There would be a lot of scrutiny put on the exact positioning of the branches and the meaning of the different types of flowers, the colors, its interaction with the water in the vase and everything. And I think there's a lot of very specific rules, right? So similar to maybe like, if anybody here knows about things like, dog breeding, right? Like dog shows, where there are, for example, very structured, traditional, aesthetical standards for certain dog breeds. And so if you go into like a dog show and you try to like show off your poodle and it's kind of a mix, or if doesn't have its fur cut kind of in a certain way, you'll like immediately lose, or you won't even be allowed to compete, right? There are some very structured rules. That's the same way with this kind of thing, where if you compete in the very traditional category, there are a lot of rules, which I think is its own kind of art form, right? In that, it's about then how can you push those limitations to the absolute nth possible degree, you know? And I think that there's a beauty in that, right? Like, okay, if all you're allowed is like, for example, 3 or 4 items on your arrangement, what can you do with those items to maximize the symbolism and the effect and all that kind of stuff? There's the other side of that, though, where there's a creative version of that, where it still tries to incorporate a lot of the idea of it not just being like the most loud bouquet. It's supposed to be still very elegant. It's supposed to take into account the form and the shape of the overall piece, as well as what each individual piece is doing within the overall display. But it's going to break away from like the super traditional, like this has to be at this exact angle, or this, it removes a lot of the restrictions. So we're going to go towards that, okay? And hello, Kaya. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it as always. So I think the main thing here is... so another thing about ikebana. Oh, hello, Tessa, by the way. Hello, Tessa. Nice to see you again. Let me quickly also bring up a little Google Images search of this. Okay, so something else that comes in when you talk about ikebana, right? So here's just a quick Google image search, right? So there are a whole variety of ways that you could take this, right? But I think something else that strikes me very strongly about ikebana that is a little bit different than maybe some other forms of flower arrangement and design is this idea that it's not just about the flowers, it's about the stem of the branch as well, right? So for example, like this arrangement right here, right? like there's only these 2 real flowers here, but it's about the whole structure thing going on here, right? Like this whole thing as a whole is a very interesting art piece, right? Even though like individually these flowers are maybe not that exciting, right? But it's this whole flow, this extremely interesting branch that they have here. And that's what makes it interesting, right? That's what gives it its shape and movement and everything, right? So here too, this is like arguably not even flowers necessarily. It's like mostly branches or mostly greenery, I suppose, right? Same thing here. There's like a lot of this arching over branch or little, leafy stem is sort of almost the main focal point, and then the flowers are like an accent to that. Additionally, the vase, or like the thing that the flowers sit in, as well as the background, the whole presentation as a whole is very emphasized. So it's not just you have a table and then there's a flower piece in the center. It's like you want to have a whole nook that is devoted just to this art piece being displayed, right? So that's where you see a lot of these really beautiful sort of textured backgrounds, right? That are like, I guess, tan or gray. They can be all kinds of different colors and stuff. But it's very much, how you present your art piece as much as it is the literal pieces, again, in the art piece itself. And you can see there's just a ton of variety of how you can take this. So there is no... Okay, I say there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I guess there are rules based off of whatever form of this you might be doing. But in our case, the big thing is that I mean, okay, it's not hard to put flowers in pots in the game. I understand. But what we're going to try to go for here is to build out like a little display scenario and really create like 2 or 3 really intricate and very thought through pieces that are on display. And I think it's very important how the lighting looks, how the backdrop looks to these. So I think that's why also it's going to go over the course of like 2 streams here, because we're not just going to slap a bunch of flowers in a vase and just call it done. The point here is we're going to create like a whole setting that these would be presented in effectively. So yeah, hopefully that sounds interesting. Hopefully that sounds like something maybe you haven't quite delved into before. I felt like it was important. I know that maybe, is a lot for some people, but like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that I did explain a little bit of what we're going for here and why I didn't just call this flower bouquets or something, because this is a little bit different and it is a bit more specific in the kind of vibe and the kind of textures and the kind of look that we're going to go for here, right? It's not just, again, just putting the flashiest flower bouquets together. And I'm going to try to do this in an apartment, but there is a chance that if some of these things I'm thinking of trying don't quite work out, I might move to one of a house or something. But I think I can do most of this in an apartment. So I think what I can do is I'm going to try using... I think first we're going to set the stage a little bit. We need to set the background and we need to set up an area where we're going to build this stuff out. So I'm going to try creating a bit of a display stand area along the back wall, I think. And the way I wanted to do that was... I think I'm going to try starting with some wooden skylights and either some wooden skylights and some lockers, some steel lockers. Those new lockers that we just got. Okay, so imitation wooden skylights, red pine lumber. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, it's fine. Crystal glass. Oh, I guess also too, like while I'm doing this, as we're getting started here, friendly reminder that the housing tour will be next week. So if you have not submitted your builds to the housing tour forum, please do so. Because I would like to have everything submitted by Wednesday, so that way I can start planning out the tour route and get all those supplies and everything all kind of built out. And make sure that we are ready to go. And Kaya and Tessa, how are you doing? I didn't get a chance to ask you yet. How's your Monday going? Holy heck, that's... Okay, can we make this for cheaper? You're glad it's over. Oh! Okay, so you're done with your workday. Glad you get a chance to relax then, Tessa. Heckin' day at work. Hectic, or not heckin', hectic day at work. Well, hopefully, yeah, you can relax a little bit now. Did I spell that? Oh, I spelled Chondite. There we go, that's much better. How much did I have for, I guess that's okay. We can just get this. 6, dang, that's kind of a lot. Okay, well, let's start with this maybe. Yeah, I think we can start with this. And persimmon lumber. And pretty good. I'm doing well, Kaius. Glad to hear you're doing well. I'm doing well as well. Yeah. Looking forward to just having some chill stream building time here. Just explore a concept. I think, yeah, I just want to mix it up a little bit and be able to explore some stuff. Oh, I bought too much. Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, because we got a bunch of awesome stuff coming up too. A whole bunch of, I don't know if you guys saw the notifications I put up in the Discord, but there's we got a lot of streams coming up. A lot of stuff happening. So I think I said I have straw in there. Okay, let's go with this. You're building. What are you building, Tessa? Hold on, wait. Where did I? There here. Straw, where is it? There it is. And I guess I even have the ingots too, right? Okay. Uh-oh, my armor crafter is not that high though. I just realized, I don't think I'm actually level 90. Uh-oh, that might be difficult to make then. Attributes. Ooh. Yeah, I don't really have the... Dang. Okay, well, let's see if I have it for... Oh, well, I might have to buy it. That's okay if I have to end up buying it too. Why can't I see my abilities? There it goes. Working on your house. Need to hop over to my mate. If you happen to have the ability to help me make these steel lockers, that'd be great. But no worries too. I mean, I know you're building, so just don't. If you're in the zone, don't let me interrupt for sure. Also, again, I know I'm not probably the most efficient at doing all this. I'm just trying to do this fast. So, don't at me. Okay, I'll open up the apartment too. Okay, so, oh man, these things are just so amazing. Okay, so first things first, let's get some of these down. Okay, so the reason I really wanted to use these was that I wanted to be able to use the steel lockers, but since I'm in an apartment, right, the steel lockers can't, I can't push them in the ground, but I think they would make for a really elegant looking stand to display our flower arrangement. So I wanted to use them like this and have them poke out of the ground. And then I wanted, well, in order to hide a lot of them, I needed to make a false ground. And obviously I think these wooden skylights are the most slot efficient way to do that. So I'm going to, yeah, try to use them to create this effect where I have these displays. I wonder where did my... I need to mega crane this possibly, because I can see how this is not allowing me to go too far in the ground. But I think that we can mega crane this into position. Alternatively, we could use wooden lofts. Yeah, see, you can see how you flip this around, and if we actually use 2 of them, so that way you can hide the locker part here, then I think this will make a really nice looking display stand. But I think, again, to see how tall that is, I think we need to be up on top here so we can actually look at this display at eye level. The items. Beautiful. All right, we'll see you soon, Tessa. Okay, so I think looking at sort of our ikebana thing. So we need a couple things, right? We need like a display area for them. We need a nice backdrop in terms of the wall, which just has texture, but it's not wallpaper, right? So here, I'll bring this back up again, right? So a big thing that I'm seeing here is that the backdrops always are like a shade, or it's like a color, but it's generally speaking not like a wallpaper or anything, right? So we just want something that's very simple, very clean looking. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we could just use a stage panel or something that, but I think there's a lot of subtle texture that's going on here for a lot of these backdrops. Like a little, like this one, for example, has a very subtle gradation to it. And so I think ideally we try to make it a little bit more interesting than just a stage panel or something. And I think we can do that with a combination of lighting and trying to use objects that have a bit of texture to them. So the first thought that I actually have for this is, I think one of the things that has really beautiful texture to it that doesn't have a lot of actual design is the back of the bathroom tiles. So that's another thing I'm going to try to pick up. I want to try to get a set of bathroom tiles, and let me see if I actually have one. I don't think I do. It's this one, bathroom wall tiles. I think we can make this pretty easily though too. Okay, I don't really have one, but potter's clay, cut stone. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is we're going to use the bathroom, yeah, we're gonna use the bathroom wall tiles as the backdrop, right? Behind, right? So this backdrop where this stage panel currently exists. Effectively, it's gonna look like this. Let's go a little higher with this. right? I'll stand up on here actually so you can see. And then preview steel locker like this. Right, so it's like this, right? So you can see how now there is a backdrop, right? There is our display stand, and then there's our floor. And by raising up the floor, we are at the height where we are eye level with the display stand. So then I think we probably will have some overhead lights coming down through here, or possibly even just like displaying through here, right? And then we will, I mean, honestly, I think that's, for the most part, that's our display, but it's about trying to capture the really subtle, elegant nature of the lighting and the textures that I think is really going to make this thing sing, as opposed to just sort of putting a bunch of colors down, right? Again, so it's really about refinement here, and it's about interplay of textures and that kind of thing. And I do think that's something where one of the reasons I wanted to use the locker here is because it has this really pretty looking marble texture to it that feels very modern in some sense, but also it could be a little bit old feeling, right? It doesn't feel too specifically any generation. It's kind of minimal in its take, but yet it has that texture. And same thing once we get the bathroom tiles in here, we'll get a lot of really nice texture. And I think it's a really nice color too. So we'll have to play around with that. There's a chance that you could even use something like this too, right? Like the back of this wall. Although I don't think this texture is that great, you know, but just even like this, just having this little bit of texture to here, I think when you go for the minimalist kind of display look, right? I think every little bit of texture adds together, and it can really help. So it's just a matter of how you frame it, how you light it, how you display it. So let's grab some bathroom tiles, and we're gonna start there. So let's see, go outside the building. I think we'll get maybe 2 or 3 bathroom tiles here. And there's gonna be a little bit of that we're gonna maybe need to adjust things quite a bit as we go, because if we're using things like bathroom tiles, flipped backwards, they're wall-mounted items, and they're probably gonna snap a lot. Oh, hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh, here, let me give you the locker stuff. Antidote. Let me just make sure that I'm getting the correct things. Oh, look, you've got a Starbird with you. Fancy. So here's the steel locker stuff. So I'll give you, oh dang, I need like 1 more of these to make the, dang, those ingots? Do I have 1 more? Hold on, let me see if I can just get 1 more of these. Oh wait, do I have enough? 6, it's kind of expensive. Okay, whatever. Okay, let me see if I can give you these. Oop. There's that. I think it was what, persimmon lumber. The bamboo sticks. And then the straw. I think that's everything for those. We're making steel lockers. I got it. I think this is going to be enough for now for us to start, because I think I only need a few of these to start out. And then bathroom tiles I'm gonna make, so. Oh shoot, I just realized the ikebana display is still up. Here we go. Are these not expensive? They're not too bad. Okay, bathroom tiles. Do I have this? I think I have a lot of this. This shouldn't be too hard. Oh, shop selling potter's clay. That's just from the junk monger. And then varnish. I thought I had more varnish. Oh well, that's fine. We can just buy some. I only need about maybe 3 of these tiles, so there we go, that's fine. Some varnish. And I know I can buy potter's clay from the person, but I can just do it right here since I'm here. Oops. Potter. Oh. Harry Potter's clay. Oh, wow. That's so much more. Whatever. You win this, whoever that person is. What are we doing? Alchemy? Okay. Oh, right. I need to get the cut stone out. I think it's here. Where's my cut stone? There it is. Oop. Bathroom. Rem! Hey Rem, what's up? How are you doing? Welcome back to the stream. All right. You finish with the lockers, or do you need a second? Oh, you got the crafter top too. Yeah, it looks so good. I can't wait to get mine. I'm a little behind. I think I've done now 2 weeks, 3 weeks worth of the deliveries, but soon. Soon. Beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Let's see. Did you have any extra materials too? I guess I can take them back and I can always make some more lockers out of them if there's anything left. Oh, or is that yet? Yeah. It feels really nice to have crafting all leveled up, you know? Thank you very, very much, Miko, for your help with this. And you're more than welcome to come hang out and stick around. Oops. Woohoo! If you want to get back to building, though, I also completely understand. But if you'd like to come and hang out for a bit, you're more than welcome to do so. And Rem, you're doing well, making big but steady progress on a build. Hey, that's awesome! Glad to hear it, man. What kind of build are you working on? I think I saw a notification before going live that you posted something in the Discord work in progress, but I haven't actually had a chance to look at it yet. But I think you are working on something, right? Okay, and so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go... Let's see. So a thing here... Oh, here, let me give you a chair, Miko. Do you want a fungus? Here, I'll give you an option. I'll give you this, and I can give you and a fungus chair too. Oh heck, you can even get a Riviera armchair. So many choices. There you go. Queen. Okay, so here's what we were going to do with this, right? So I was going to do bathroom tiles. So for anybody who's never seen this done before, you're in for a treat. So if you didn't know this, the bathroom tiles have an incredible texture on the back, right? So here, you're going to see it right now. So basically... Bada boom. Okay, so there you see what I'm talking about? Look at this texture. Look at this beautiful, beautiful texture. And it's, if you put them all next to it, it's basically seamless. And like, look at all this detail, you know? The little cracks and stuff. Like, I don't even know why. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't know why they designed the bathroom tiles so beautifully on the back of it. But I'm glad that they did, because it's incredible looking. So you can see though how this will make for potentially a really interesting looking backdrop for our ikebana, right? So even, again, the whole thing with the ikebana thing is that we're going for this like really elegant, really refined, but very minimal approach, right? So this, I think, will give us that beautiful, very craftsman-like texture, but then really still let the flowers and the lighting and stuff really shine through, right? Because we just don't want to outshine that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm going with this, right? And then I think something that we can pair it with, right, is, for example, the Hingen sideboards, right? So oh yeah, see, am I blowing your mind here with this texture to this? Yo, Sunny, what's up? What's up? How are you doing, Sunny? Welcome to the stream. And Rem's saying, yeah, you did. I'm not sure what to call it yet. You know what? Here, let me quickly go take a look at what you made and post it in the Discord, Rem. Is it in work in... There it is, work in progress. Whoa, Rem! Yo, that ceiling! That ceiling's amazing! I love it! That's so cool. For anybody who's in my Discord, yo, check out what Rem's making here over in the work in progress. Look at that ceiling. That's beautiful, Rem. I'm loving just the whole vibe here we're going on with. I see, oh, and then using the new Ishgard windows too, but doubling them up. I like that as well. Just gotta be careful for that weird burnt spot in the back, you know? Did we ever figure out, I'm curious if anyone ever figured out if that was just on my screen, if that was for everybody or not. But like, there's that cursed burnt spot on the Ishgard windows. Dang, okay, hold on, let me drop some emojis on this. That looks fantastic, Rem. Took you 6 hours? I'm not surprised. Yeah, I mean, creating like a lot of intricate layering and stuff, like especially with ceilings. Did you use white rectangular partitions, Brian? Let's see. And of course, floating white rectangular partitions in between each of those to get those nice white, clean white lines is, I think, where a lot of the time sink goes. But yeah, wow, great. That's a great start, Rem. That's really cool. Also, here, let me... Since I brought it up, I feel like I should clarify what I was talking about with the windows. So, fun random thing that we discovered. I did a review on stream back when 6.1 first came out, and I did a sort of my live reaction review of all the housing items that came out with that patch. So if you're interested in that, you could take a look on my YouTube channel, and you can see me talk about that. There's actually here, I'll just link the Discord too, since I'm talking about my Discord and like Rem's posting in the housing work in progress section. If anyone here in the stream is interested in joining my Discord, I have a Discord. There you go. You can see what we're talking about there. We talk about housing, we talk about nightlife. I talk about all kinds of upcoming events and stuff. Yeah, take a look at it. If you're interested, come join. We'd love to have you. Well, let's see. This is the one I was talking about. Okay, so this Alpine window, right? So Ram was using this in his new build, and I said, just gotta watch out for that burnt spot, right? So the thing about this window is that the front here, right, looks like, I mean, like a normal window, right? It's very beautiful. You get this, this beautiful like frosted glass look and stuff. Very cool, very cool. The weird thing though was on the back here. I'll show you. Do you see on my screen? Do you see there's a burnt spot? Like, which like might be useful for some people, right? But the interesting thing is that it moves too, right? So like if I switch my camera view, do you see how it's just, look here, it's not here pretty much, right? It's on this side. It got worse now. And if I move this way, it switches to the other side. If I like angle at different areas, it like partially disappears. Can anyone else confirm, does this happen on your screen as well? Or is it just mine? But like, I don't know why this is. I have no idea. I've never seen this happen with another item like this. See, there's nothing glitching into it too. It's completely by itself. But for some reason, it just looks burnt, right? Like, Tessa, you're here standing with me. Oh wait, never mind. You can't see it's a preview item, but like, can anyone else, if anyone else has access to their house, tell me if you preview this item in your house, just go to the housing menu preview, plop the item down, and walk around. This is the front. Walk around to the back and look at it for me, and tell me if it looks burnt to you, like you're seeing on my screen, on my stream right now. Kind of crazy. I don't know. But again, I could totally see how someone would use this to their advantage if you're going for like some kind of like a burnt up Ishgardian build or something. It could be kind of cool that you walk into this thing and you're like, oh, whoa, it's like the normal house. But then like weirdly from certain angles, it's like, oh, or is it? There's some haunted house ideas for you. You know how like in haunted houses, a lot of times it looks all nice, but at a certain angle, it looks all creepy. Here you go. There's your haunted house idea for the day. Imagine covering up the windows and stuff and only exposing bits of this wood. And then just like random parts of your house just keep like shifting, like an illusion is happening, like randomly where you stand. It's just random parts look burnt and like broken. That'd be really crazy. I could see someone taking that in a really cool direction. Oh, let me just catch up here. Sunny's running some Ultima Unreals. Ooh, nice. Man, I need to eventually get around to running some of that higher end content. Good stuff. What is Ultima Unreal? What does that get you? Is that the faux tails, full hollows? The Fox guy, right? Is that the Unreal Trials, right? It's all related to the same place you get the Wondrous Tales stuff, I think. Faux hollows, faux tails. Yeah, oh yeah, and Rem's like talking about the different items to use. Yeah. It looks great. Teague, you're saying it does look crispy, so it looks crispy on your end too. Is that correct? Like it looks all burnt? Okay, and back to our ikebana thing. So we have the backdrop for where the flowers will go. So I talked about using the locker as one potential stand for the ikebana to sit upon. But I think it'd be kind of cool if we did maybe a couple variants on the display, right? Because I think something that's very interesting with the ikebana stuff is that you have this variety of pots and stands and stuff that it comes in, right? So, you know, this is like on a wooden, just like a flat piece, right? Here's more of like in like a bowl or something. There's these taller vases, right? Like you can really see the difference in these two images here too, right? So you get all kinds of stuff. This is like a crazy looking shape. So we're gonna play, again, a big thing with ikebana is attention to detail in all aspects, from the lighting to the backdrop to the vase to the branches to the proportions to everything, right? So I think we'll vary that up. And I think one way we can do that is we use a locker for one of them and then also like this, right? But then maybe dyed a different color. Oh, and Mikari, Kairi. Oh man, I'm having trouble rolling my R. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the follow. And yeah, it's the Faux Hollows. Welcome. How are you doing? Glad to have you here with us. Yeah, here we go. So like this, I think is kind of the look we're going for, right? Where this got that very nice maple kind of wood look, right? Maple or oak even kind of wood. And then we have the nice texture here. And I think in low lighting with the proper, low house lighting setting, but with the proper overhead lighting and stuff, we can really make a nice looking spotlighted area here, right? Okay, so I think that's kind of the general thing we're gonna go for. Let's see, how are we gonna do? Me trying to think. So one way we can do this is have like a big long shelf, but also I think it'd be kind of nice to have like almost like a cutout cubby where it just pokes through. We just have this one little, like a little shelf where our ikebana presentation can go. And then we can also have one of our lockers here, right? So we'll have the locker version. Oh, it needs to be a little, the bathroom tiles need to be a little higher, it looks like. Right? So maybe we need to set our floor here somehow. And just make sure that we understand where the floor is. So let's see, height-wise, what makes the most sense with the locker? Okay, maybe like that. So then it's not super tall, right? That kind of makes a little bit of sense in terms of it's high enough off the ground that my character, who's on the higher end of the height scale, isn't craning his neck down, but also like a Lala or something is it's not, you know, super high up where like a Lala character would just be unable to see it. So maybe something like about that height. Can we get the wooden loft that low? The wooden skylight, that is. Yeah, that's a question here. So, oops. Let's. You want a small person comparison? Do you have a Lala, Tessa, on here? I mean, you're welcome to come on your Lala if you'd like. But I think like this is probably pretty good. Yo, what's up, Jennifer? Jenny Woo? Welcome back, welcome back. How are you doing, Jenny? Do you prefer I call you Jenny or Jennifer? Or something else? Because I know you go by different things in Twitch here versus the Discord and that kind of thing. But let's see. I think so the leash can be a bit higher, maybe about here. Let's see here. Actually, if anything, we could just keep things simple. Instead of having to mega crane everything, let's just see what the minimum height for this is and then match stuff to that, maybe? Actually, you know what? That actually works already with the locker. Although it could be a little higher. Like a touch higher. I think if these could go a little bit lower. Can this go one lower? Can I crane this in position? Let me think. Do I have beams? I'm gonna do the mega crane. Oh, there it is. Okay. I do have my wooden beams. Secrets. There they are. Okay. Gonna grab a bunch of these wooden beams. I'm gonna grab some more lofts, and we'll use that as our starting point. Yon Lance, hello, hello, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow. Thank you, Tessa. No problem. I got Oh, you're a Minhite Miko? Oh, you are Minhite Miko here. I see what you're saying. I think I got it. This will be okay. You know what? This isn't too bad, but yeah, I think I'm gonna want this to be a touch lower. So let's mega crane this. And by mega crane, I mean really not really a mega crane. It's just like a little bit of a crane. Right, so we can go like this. Go here. In fact, let's go this direction. Okay, so here you go, a mini lesson for anybody who doesn't know the crane thing, right? Is instead of, like, you can only place this so low in the build, but because it's a wall-mounted item, right? So this is as low as you could get it naturally, but then we can get it quite a bit lower by putting it on wooden beams and stacking the wooden beams on wooden beams, and then we can push the wooden beams into the floor, and then do you see how much lower that is? Right, because it was, before we couldn't get this thing below the wooden loft here, but now we can, just like that. So now we could test this over here. Let's pull the wooden loft out. And the nice thing is you can stand on these and they're humongous. So you can imagine, let me quickly mock this up. Okay, so we're gonna pull this over here. And then we're going to, we would actually probably have a light above this hanging down. So let's see how we do that. Okay, so, oops. So let's imagine like that, and then we have, let's see, do we have like a factory light or pendant light, I want to say? I think I probably have one in one of my retainers here. Let's see here. Pendant light, nope. Oh, let me make sure I have my wood slats with me. That's very important. Maybe we can try the indirect light as well and just kind of see how that ends up looking. And then we're gonna go with, who did I just look at? Her. I could have sworn I have some pendant lights, but I might have used them all up for the cafe bar that we did in the other room. I think I just saw someone else join in. Sublunar Scales, welcome to the stream, and thank you very much for that follow. Hello, hello. How is it going? Hey, Mikari. Oh wow, you didn't know that. Are you talking about the Mega Crane thing? It's definitely something that, yeah, I think, yeah, you didn't, yeah, it's so useful though. So I'm glad you know it now. It's a very applicable thing for so many things. And I could, you know, see, I have, why it's called a Mega Crane too, is because you can take this absolutely bonkers, right? So I happen to do just like 2 of them, but you could go beams on beams on beams, you know, and just go absolutely crazy. So if you just keep doing this and stacking them up, right, you can get really crazy. So like people will do this, right? And you can see how this just gets, you just keep going as far down as you can. And this actually lets you get really insanely far down if you go far enough. There is a limit to how many items you can move on a single, at a single time. I think it's 10 total. So for example, you couldn't make like 20 of these deep, but you could do this, which is already pretty crazy, right? So now check this out, right? Like I can push this thing, actually make it disappear into the floor, right? Look how low that now is into the floor. So, and so with the addition of the wooden skylights here, you can basically very efficiently, because they're so huge, they're like twice the size of the wood lofts, you can extremely efficiently make a custom floor size, a floor height rather, within an apartment. Very, very easily, using just a bunch of wooden beams and a couple of skylights here. So very useful for anybody who's looking to change the levels and stuff within their apartment. And I say that because you can do this even easier in a house because you can push stuff up through the floor, right? But in an apartment, in just the base game without any third-party tools, you can't shove things into the floor normally. With, again, the exception being with using wall-mounted items and using a crane like this, right, to push it. Although this is a bit of an extreme example. This is truly the Mega Crane kind of example, but it doesn't always have to be that insane. And for our case, we're not going to have it to be that insane. We're going to have it be like that. We can just have these in my inventory in case I need to do anything with them. But yeah, okay, let's go back to what we were trying here. Okay, so you have this, right? And then, okay, what we're gonna do, so if we had the lighting down, and then we had pendant light, right? Let's try the pendant light. Oh, let me place this. It's so dark I can't even see where it might be. Oh, there it is, way over there. Yeah, so you can see how if we do this, like way up high like this, right, or something, you get that really nice diffuse light here. But that right there is the look we're going for, right? So that's kind of what we're doing here, right? Where we're trying to use very subtle lighting that really just highlights the texture on the wall and really will pretty much just let whatever's sitting here really shine through. So I think this is one setup that we're going to do, where we have this sort of pillar display for one of our flower arrangements, and then we'll maybe build out two other types of displays. One being like a longer shelf, and then, I don't know, we'll have to think of maybe one other type of thing. Or possibly one long shelf in the middle and then two of these on either side or something. Or three of these in a row, you know, and then like a side shelf. I don't know. We'll just kind of have to see how that ends up playing out. But I think that's sort of where we're going, where I'm taking this, right? Let's turn the light back up though so we can see. And it's probably Iris. Do you mind if I call you Iris, or what would you like me to call you? Or if you want me to say it's probably Iris in full the whole time, that's fine too. But hello, welcome to the stream too. I saw that you followed, I believe, just before the stream started, I think. I wasn't sure if you were here or not. But thank you very much for the follow as well, and welcome to the stream. I never knew the power of the crane. Yeah, wonderful stuff. If in case some of you also want, again, like I kind of basically gave you a little tutorial right there, but I actually did I did two streams in the past where I did housing tutorials, housing 101 and housing 201. In housing 201, which I'll link you right here, I actually go through some of these a bit more advanced techniques for housing. So that way, if you want to know about some of the more advanced techniques for housing, so housing 101 covers like really basic glitching, and then housing 201 goes through the mega crane, bed meta, and some other techniques that kind of help you take your builds to the next level, so to say. So if you really like that mega crane thing, you may like that stream, housing 201. And there's timestamps. I know it's like something like a 2.5 or 3 hour long stream. I forget exactly how long, but there's timestamps for all of the main types of glitches and stuff I talk about. So you can always just jump to whatever part interests you. So you don't have to like necessarily watch it from start to finish, although you're of course welcome to. So yeah, Iris is fine. Says it's probably us. Okay, cool, Iris. Saw your post on the housing tag, so I figured you'd stop in. Yeah, I'm glad you found me. I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, I was hoping maybe a few people might be interested in doing this. I know that there's not too many other housing streams, so want to find all the people who are into housing and we can all nerd out together, right? Or that's kind of the idea here. Mikari and Iris, so do you guys both do housing as well? I'm guessing you're both at least somewhat into housing. That probably brought you here. And if we have anyone else who's new too, feel free to say hello as well. Like SFC Pudding here. Hello. Hey, welcome to the stream. Very cute emoji. How are you all doing? Really glad to have you all. Also, here I'm gonna move these the bath tiles up a bit because they're a bit too low, right? We can see how with the locker being where it is, we want these to be raised up maybe about here. So I'm gonna have to raise them up maybe about whatever, I don't know, half, 50% more or something. And I just need to get them snapped back to this. Oh, they're a little off. I think it's like 1 grid snap off roughly. That's fine. Boop. Like this. I think they all need to be 1 over. Then they should just fit. It should. Oh. Am I off? It fit before. That's weird. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, but we just don't want any texture glitching is the big thing. Did I have some initial texture glitching before? It's fine. We'll do it like this. We can... Oh yeah, we need to actually move these up. So let's make sure we move these up first. About here, maybe? Is that right? Let's test this. Is that too high? No, it's perfect. No, maybe just a touch lower in case this thing needs to raise up and have a little bit of the lip hanging out here. So let's go 1 snap lower, I think. Oh, sorry, Miko. Didn't mean to block you there. Okay, so we're gonna go really, oof, very close there. Oh, it's a little off right there. Just a touch, 1 pixel lower. There it goes. Oh, that weird little part right there doesn't match up. That's odd, but that's fine. We can deal with that. So we'll bring this over here. Okay. We might as well make it in the center of the room too. Okay, and I'm gonna pick up the dragon lamp here. If I pick up the dragon lamp, everything will disconnect in one go, and then I can move this away. And now we have our backdrop. There's our backdrop again. Now it's a lot higher. We have our false floor. Let's maybe work on getting our false floor a little bit more even. So how far out can we go with this? Really far, actually. This goes like that. Wow. Dang, that's pretty nuts. Let's see here. I've done a few pretty basic builds. So Iris is saying you've done a few pretty basic builds, but slowly learning more and more. Hey, that's great. No, I think like any kind of creative activity, right? Like the big thing is just you got to do a lot of work. You know, you just got to do a lot of projects and stuff. And every time you do a project, you're learning more and more things, which usually you make like 50 things along the way, like 50 little ideas that don't really make it into the final product because they just don't quite fit or something. But then over time, you start building up this humongous library of ideas, which you can then pull from, which is always really nice. I'm wondering if actually we want one more bathroom tile right here, because I kind of feel like it'd be nice to have even a wider range to do stuff. Like here, let's just try. What happens if we have 3 lockers all set up next to each other? Is that right? Oh. Oop. So like, yeah, see, I feel like that spacing looks pretty good. Let's see, where is our sideboards? These are too short. I think we need the wardrobes. Let's go. Is this where I get wardrobes? No. Are they shelves? There it is. Let's get 2 of these to start. Flip them backwards. Okay. And I'm gonna dye them what was it? I guess ideally we get UI brown, or Ul brown, not UI, Ul brown. But we can start with bone white. Just to get the idea. I think they look a little yellow and kind of weird in highlight, but I think in low light they'll look really nice. Oh, this makes me think, actually, that these should come full, like, you know, we should do this. We should go bring these forward, right? Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can just fix this texture really quick. We'll probably actually move these eventually, but it's okay. Just for the sake of not having this texture glitch too crazily. There we go. So now when I see this, I'm actually thinking it'd be kind of cool to use, perhaps, the Oriental screens. This one, partitions rather. Potentially to do this and create the little cubbies that we were talking about, right? Where there's like a shelf, or like there's like a display window, I should say. Although I don't really like the color of that wood. It looks a little bit too dark, maybe? I don't know though, again, in low lighting that might be okay. If we bring these floated up a bit, it's an option. Okay, I kind of like this idea. Okay, I need this shelf to be a thing. I'd be into housing if you get a house. SFC Puddings was saying, I'd be into housing if I could get a house. That's true. Although, hey, look, I'm doing all this in an apartment. So just saying, you never, you don't have to necessarily wait till you get a house. I understand getting a house would be, of course, ideal. And my sympathy does go out to people who are still trying to win the lottery. But so to say, I mean, the vast majority of actually the stuff that I teach, as well as like the stuff that I've done on the stream, has all been done in my apartment. So if you look at the last several things that I've put out on my Twitter, or most of the housing VODs and stuff, then yeah, pretty much everything I've done is in an apartment. So don't underestimate the power of an apartment. I think it's it's a great place to get your feet wet in terms of housing, because you can do all the glitches that you need to do in an apartment, and there's so much you can do with it. And if anything, it makes you, I guess, partially appreciate even more when you do get a house, because then, you know, building with limitation, and then suddenly the reins are off, and you're like, whoa, wow, you can do all of this? Amazing, you know? So, I'd say, don't let your dreams be dreams. Grab that apartment and start going crazy. And then again, once you get a house, you can always go crazy in there too, but... Let's see, there we go. Get some more dye, bone white. Also, something unfortunate about lighter dyes tend to make things like you can see the seams a lot more, versus darker dyes, it vanishes. If you dye everything soot black, it just completely goes away. All the seams and everything. It's like, this is kind of noticeable, the seam there. We can fix that later though. Okay, so we can start seeing kind of the emerging... Oh, I wonder the emerging pattern here. Ooh, that does not dye very well. That looks a little better. We could go for just a full-on dark. We could go for the dark look and then just really have this be a highlight. That's an interesting idea. Let's see. Mikari is saying, I found you through the tag as... Oh, Mikari, I also said you also found me through the tag. Probably totally new to housing, but super interested in learning how to set up my builds. Oh, Mikari, yeah. So if you're super new to housing too, then take a look at the Housing 101's stream that I did. And I'm actually working on creating some more videos that are related to beginner housing and stuff. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, if you want to take a look at that, that would be a really good place to maybe start. There's, of course, a lot of other really great videos by wonderful creators out there as well. So there's lots of resources on YouTube. But if you want my take on it, that was a stream where I did the sort of very basics of housing. So, Mikari, if you're looking to kind of... if you're kind of looking to get into housing, then yeah, that would be like a great place to take a look. And Tessa's saying, can I link the Discord again? Yeah, here, I'll link it again. For all you folks who are new, this is my Discord. And so there's a whole section in it, subsection devoted to just housing and everything. And you can post your work in progress, you can showcase your final builds, or you can just ask questions from a bunch of us. So a whole bunch of people from my streams are also into housing, just like yourselves. And so it's a great place to also get a little bit of feedback or ask if you need some help. Or just want more housing friends, you know? So there's my Discord. Of course, there's like FFXIV and some other wonderful Discords as well, too. But yeah, if you'd like to check out mine, join, you're more than welcome to join there. And I think I missed one other message here too. Oh, and SFC Pudding, yeah, I've gotten an apartment, but I had a hard time getting much inspiration with how cramped that space is. I'm pretty happy with what I've got so far, but man, you just want more space. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. Just having the little box is a little bit limiting initially, especially when you see like the amount of space people have in a large. But I think that's like, again, I think one of the cool things about an apartment is that it can also be a little bit overwhelming when you have, like, for example, if someone jumps into building in a large, it can be like a little too much, right? Like it can be like, oh my gosh, I have to deal with 400 items. I have this humongous space. I don't know what to do with it all and that kind of thing. So sometimes it's kind of nice to just say, an apartment gives you those limitations where it's like, you got 100 items. What can I do with these? And usually it means that you pretty much have to lean in on like one idea, but that's actually very helpful sometimes for creativity, because it means like, instead of trying to build like a bar and a kitchen and a library and you know, and try to make them all really interesting, just build just a bar, you know, just build the kitchen. In this case, we're just building just like some ikebana, like flower displays, you know? So that can be actually very helpful. And you can stretch what you can do in an apartment quite a lot, actually, in terms of changing, just again, the like I was doing here with the skylights, just changing a bit of the levels and stuff in an apartment really can make a huge difference. And it can really make it feel like a much bigger space than it actually is. So, yeah. Actually, I guess really quickly, since like a bunch of you guys are really new, maybe I'll really quickly just show you, would you guys want to see, I have a couple of apartments done, or FC rooms, and I think they give you an interesting example of what you can do with an apartment that kind of goes beyond, I think, what maybe some people see at face value when you first just like look at an apartment, like just the basic box. If you guys are interested, I could go pop over there and I could show you those really quick. Sort of aimed at like anyone here who's kind of newish to housing and or just anyone who wants to see it again, I suppose. Let's see, what else are we gonna, how else are we gonna do these? I think, trying to think. You know, can we have... I think we need to put in walls. So I think we're going to we need some stage, just maybe some blank stage panels. And then we'll start filling in like some of the, what do you call it? It's like the pillars or the spaces in between here. I think I want to raise these up too. I'm going to float these up off the ground a bit. Okay, yeah, let's take a quick detour over here. I'll just show you guys really quick, just so you can have an idea of what you can do with an apartment. So for one, everything I'm doing on most of my streams is building in an apartment, so that already gives you some idea. But then also here, let me show you these builds, and these are open, by the way, to the public. Let me post the address here. I think it's this one. So I put the address up here below the gameplay footage. So this is actually it's open currently. So if you have an alt or a main on Crystal, you can come see these in person as well, but I'll show you them right now. This is at my FC house. Okay. So this is inside the main FC house. This is just in the actual room itself, this is the medium. And so this is admittedly, you know, this is more item slots than you'd have in an apartment. But this is a Japanese izakaya. So actually, in some sense, the setup that I'm doing in the apartment build that we're doing right now is kind of a little bit modeled after what I was doing here with the backdrop of this bar. Because this is actually something I was experimenting a lot with in an apartment when I first got my housing stuff. So I am a big fan of kind of this Japanese minimalist look. And so this is a bit of what we're going for in the apartment now. And I think a lot of the stuff here applies very well to what we're doing in the apartment. So just so you get an idea of kind of like how I have very sort of subtle lighting here and a sort of very minimalist approach. In some sense, this is a preview in a way of where I'm going with some of the ikebana kind of stuff, right? So you can imagine this would be on our locker stands. Although we're going to build it out a lot more than just that. But, you know, you have this very sort of subtle lighting gradation going on and that kind of thing. So, yeah, there's, yeah, this is, again, much fancier, though, than what we can do in an apartment. I went way too crazy, though, on this whole ceiling structure thing, and it, like, used up all my slots. But I think it came out pretty cool. It's kind of interesting, kind of a little bit different. And here, I'll show you, though. This is me going into the chambers, right? So, SFC pudding, I think this is especially for you too, but like take a look at, you know, like this, right? I think hopefully this maybe can help give you some ideas too of like what you can do in just some FC rooms, right? So for one, here we're gonna go to the first room. So mind you, these are all, the next three things we're gonna see are all just in FC rooms. Right, which is the same size as an apartment, so 100 item slots. So this is a backyard amphitheater, right? So there's like a starry sky up above, and it's meant to look like you stepped outside the house into a backyard. Okay, so there's like a stage going on here. If I flip around too, I built a false exterior of the house so that it really helps give you that illusion like you stepped outside the house, right? So this is, again, it's all in an apartment. So there is, and everything that I'm doing too doesn't use any third-party plugins or tools or anything like that. So this is all possible in the base, just the base games, just using the basic glitches and tools and stuff that I show in those 2 tutorial streams I linked. So yeah, so you can see though how like this hopefully doesn't really feel like an apartment anymore, right? It changes what felt like a very big box into something that feels a little bit more dynamic and alive. Mikari, you're asking what is, or Mikairi, I think. I apologize. You're asking what is the stars here? So those are undersea spoils. So if you use undersea spoils and you hide the gold bricks, and then the star effect will just shine through. So that's a way to make a starry night. So yeah, so you can see how maybe this is something, again, yeah, that breaks up the apartment look into something Mika. Mika, that's cool. I can call it Mika too. But yeah, this helps, hopefully shows one example of how you can break an apartment up. Right here, I'll show you. I don't know, is SFC Pudding still here? Oh yeah, there you are. Hello. Did you see that I was just showing? The amphitheater there? Okay. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, just want to make sure that if you wanted to see, you were able to see. So no worries though. And then here is a movie theater. So we have like a reception area, snack bar, and then in here is an actual movie theater, right, with a screen. So there's like seating and stuff. Put your popcorn on the side and blah blah blah. Got some theater lighting, right? So again, I recommend coming to see these in person too, if you'd like. The address is right there, so you can come check these out. But yeah, see, again, I think this is not as extravagant in terms of necessarily the layout or anything, but just breaking up, right? Like breaking up the box into two different areas where you have like an entrance and then like something else going on can help change the look. And then sometimes doing little elements like keeping the doors here. This is the same kind of door that I used in the main room. So it kind of can help give you that feeling like the rooms are connected to each other instead of that they're all separate. And then take your time, by the way, Miko. I see you just joined in there. Over here now, I'm gonna go to, this is the room room I built entirely on stream. It was actually the very first thing I did on this when I first started the stream back in like February, I think it was. But yeah, so this is a cafe and bar, right? So again, just an FC room though, but you can see that there's quite a bit that you can do, right, with just an FC room, or an apartment rather. So here you go. Right, got like seating. See how like even just this very subtle level change, right? You walk in and you just walk up. And just the tiny little level change, okay, admittedly, that probably, it feels different when you're in character walking around it than necessarily me showing it on screen. But just the subtle little level change and the fact that you kind of have to walk in and around this space, I think immediately means that you kind of, it resets your mind a little bit so it doesn't just feel like you walked into a big box, you know what I mean? So... And Invisible Wonders, hi, you've been lurking for a little while. Welcome to the stream. I believe I saw that you also followed while I was off stream, so thank you very much for that follow. Welcome to the stream. And is low lighting my specialty? To be honest, yeah, I would say so. I think like in general, the big thing is that I just find that the lighting in the game looks really nice at low levels, because if that's not to say that I haven't seen some really beautiful bright builds, but I think a lot of what I go for is a very moody, heavy, atmospheric kind of vibe. So, like you can see, if I turn the lights up, I think it loses a lot of the vibe. It doesn't look horrible, but just like, it just kind of looks, a lot of the stuff looks much more flat. It's kind of like how when you shoot photography in the middle of the day, you know what I mean? It's very, a lot of times it kind of flattens things out, doesn't look as dynamic and interesting, right? But like, look, so like watch the bar wall, right? Like take this and then drop it to light 1, and then look how much more interesting, in my opinion, that looks. And if I even drop it to light 0, I feel like that really makes the fish tank pop, right? So, and then it really lets, like, for example, these indirect lights it lets you really see the interaction they have with the plants on the wall, which I think is a really cool look. I've always been a big fan of how lights interact with plants and stuff. So, yeah, I think, like, again, I'll turn the lights back up for a second, but, like, just look at the plants on the wall there, right? Like, if I turn the lights back up, it just looks, I mean, it still looks nice. I think the verdant partition is really very nicely detailed, but I think you kind of lose just that visual interest, right? Whereas if you drop this back down, I think this is a much more interesting, you know, area to look at now. You know, and something that I think a lot of people maybe aren't used to seeing, right? Everyone's used to seeing a verdant partition in bright light, but I think presenting, like, for example, this particular fern in a little bit more of that light character is a bit more visually dynamic. Same thing here, right? Got this kind of the light spills here, which kind of they vanish when you turn the lights back up, right? It's just not powerful enough like that. You really lose that cone effect. Whereas if you drop the lights back down, you get that really nice, dramatic looking cone. So, and yeah, I agree, Invisible. It's like, yeah, the low light shader just has a very nice character to it. It's also, to be honest, much more flattering on the character's face too, right? Like like this, like that's very harsh, right? And gets a lot of like kind of weird shadows and stuff. But if you like, even at light level 1, it's still not as nice. But then when you drop it to 0, I feel like you can start getting these really nice sort of soft lights across your character. Like that, right? So... Oh, and you saw me on Twitter too, yeah. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that a bunch of you guys found me recently from Twitter. I'm between the googly eyes posts and the I think me posting about the ikebana build that we're doing. I think a lot of people, we've had a bunch of new people come, which is really exciting. I'm so glad to have you all here. I hope you've been enjoying the stream so far. I'm going back to my apartment right now, by the way, so. And here, I'll put up the address for the apartment that I'm at right now. So if anybody is in the game and would like to come hang out at the apartment with me as I'm building here, you are more than welcome to come do so. And oh, you shared the Google Eye and didn't realize it was me? Yep, that was me. Well, I'm glad that you liked it. But yes, yeah, so I guess I don't know for sure that nobody else is making googly eye stuff. It could be that someone else posted some stuff based off of what I did. But yeah, I think if you saw a googly eye post or a break it down for how to do the googly eyes, or the Guggenheim Museum that I did, if you saw any one of those 3 recently, probably pretty good chance it was mine. So that was on the previous stream. So if you look on my YouTube channel, if any of you are interested in watching the stream, which was just the last one we did last Wednesday, that's when I made the initial googly eye concept and everything. So that was a fun stream. And the VOD is up on my YouTube channel. So if you guys do want to take a look at that, yeah, feel free to, that's another one that'd be a fun watch. Let's see here. Okay, ooh, so actually, this was good, actually. Now that we went to my house, I got reminded of kind of what I did in the previous stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna utilize a few little techniques that I used in some previous builds to help us frame this out, okay? Let's see, make sure. Okay, let's bring this a little forth. There we go. Oh, there's a space. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we have that. I think. Can we raise these lockers up a bit? I wonder what the minimum float height is on these. Where's my stage panel? Or actually, do I have wood slat? There. Let's use wood slats instead. It's much easier. Okay, hopefully these float relatively easy. I think these aren't too wide, so they hopefully don't have too crazy of a minimum float height. Let's see, is that... There we go. Actually, oh, wow. That's the... Perfect. Okay. And I think if we use Hingen sideboards... Hingen wardrobes. No, these are the wardrobes. I use sideboards. Then we can float them up, and they can be along the shelf here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have one centerpiece, and then we'll have 2 shelves on the side, I think. I think that'll be really nice. So let's take these, go to... because I think these are going to be too high. Don't want to distract from the building, but what does minimum float height mean? Oh, okay, yeah, perfect. Please don't ever hesitate to ask. I'm happy to answer. Okay, so minimum float height refers to that every item when you're building has to be raised a certain level off the ground before it can be frozen in place, okay? So you can see how this locker is floating in midair right now, right? So you're invisible. I think you're aware of that people glitch and float things up off the floor, right? Or like float things off the ground and then freeze them in midair, right? So the thing about this is, here, one of the best examples is a bed or something, or even just a table. Yeah, let's do a table. That's fine. Okay, so this lets you really see. Okay, so let's take this table for example, right? Okay, so if I have this table, right, and I float this up off the ground. Oh, hold on. Okay, so something you'll run into, right, as you start to learn how to float things is, like, for example, you can see there that the table is floated up off the ground, right? I think you can see that it's raised up off the ground. But now you might know, oh, you need to lock it to rotate it, or rotate to lock the furniture in place. Okay, I'll rotate it. So it should be frozen in place, right? But if I leave the housing menu right now, watch the table, it pops back down to the ground, right? It's because it didn't clear the minimum float height. Now, to be honest, I don't know exactly why that's coded like this. I'm sure there's a reason on the back end from Square Enix, but for whatever reason, every item has different minimum float heights that something has to reach in order to be able to stick in place, right? So that table didn't hit it. So if I go a little higher though, right? So now I think I'm pretty clear of the minimum float height. I'm guessing it's a couple lofts high. When I say lofts, I mean 1 wooden loft height, 2 wooden loft height, roughly. So now if I leave the housing menu, there, the table is floated in place, right? So now I can actually rotate this thing. And if I was to leave the building and come back in, it would still stay floated in place. Remember that you always have to rotate the item. So even if you clear the minimum float height, if you forget to rotate the item, it will sink back to the floor. So same thing here, right? I need to make sure I rotate this locker. And you can see though that how the table is quite a bit higher than the locker. So I think if I floated the table to this height, it would just snap back to the floor. And things like beds and rugs have really high minimum float heights. So for example, a bed, you have to float it like almost to the top probably of where this locker is before it's allowed to stay in place, or else it'll just keep snapping back to the floor. And let me quickly link you something very useful for this. So Liaro, what's up? Hello, hello, welcome back to the stream. Glad you can make it. Okay, here. I'm explaining minimum float height to Invisible Wonder here. So, Invisible, this is for you and for anyone else who's listening and wants a very nice way to understand minimum float height. So first of all, if you've never heard of HGXIV, there are some wonderful people by a group called HGXIV. You can look them up. They have amazing tutorials. And one of the wonderful tutorials, resources, and a bunch of streams and videos. In fact, they're a huge inspiration for me. One of the best resources that they've come up with, though, is this. I'm just linking it right now. It's a Google Doc, and it's their minimum float height guide. So they have painstakingly gone through every item in the game and figured out a standardized meter for how high you have to float that thing up off the ground to meet the minimum float height. So bookmark that, and then when it comes to you having to think about how high to float something, you can always reference that, and that way you don't have to guess. Because like I was doing here, right? Like I'm not really sure how high this is, but like, how high I needed it to be. But if you're going to be floating a lot of things, it can be nice to just look it up and just be like, okay, one wooden loft high up off the ground. Oh no, this one has to be 5. So there you go. Very useful. Very, very useful. And thank the kind folks at HGXIV. And I think Shay Cloudbank, who initially created that document, and then the HGXIV updated it. So really, really good resource. And I would say look at the HGXIV website as well, because that is just a really phenomenal resource for all things housing as well. Let's see here. Okay. What was I going to do? I was going to use Hingen sideboards. Okay, so let's grab a bunch of these. Okay, so what I wanted to do was take a bunch of these. Oh. Uh-oh. And I wanted to float them up off the ground. Or should I be using these? I could just raise the whole floor up. So see, what I'm debating about right here is I want to use these as like a really clean shelf for these other things to exist around, but I need to raise them up off the floor, and I was thinking that these would end up, once I float them up off the floor, they'd be too high, but I think these might be too low if I floated them up here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Also, I do know that the title of this is, we're doing the ikebana part, the arrangement of the flowers part. And I know that we haven't really gotten to that today, but worry not, we will be doing this again on Wednesday, and if anything, I might work a little bit on this backdrop off stream, just so we don't spend the whole time making the backdrop. But this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this in 2 streams, is because I had a feeling that we would need to spend quite a bit of time just trying to figure out how we wanted to present these things. And I think because that's so important, I really wanted to make sure I allowed for proper time to do that. So here we go. Okay, let's use this. You know, I think I really like the idea, though, of the locker being like a big pillar that comes up. So I think, yeah, I think I do want to go with these sideboards. And then that will actually allow us to create a high shelf where we have one that's on a pillar up high, and then we're going to have 2 maybe on the sides that are much lower. And I think that will give us some nice variety of height, where we have sort of one centralized piece, and then we have 2 lower down to the ground. And that can give us, yeah, some variety that we can work with, I think, very nicely. And let's use these, and then we'll nudge them over so that they're not as texture glitchy. This is actually where it would be nice if they were dyed a little lighter, because then I could see a little better. But I might have to fix this up again off stream a bit, just because I don't want it to be super texture glitching. There we go. Okay. No worries. You are very welcome, Invisible. Is that why you call yourself invisible? The lurker part? But yeah, seriously, no worries. I totally understand that a lot of people actually, I think, watch my housing stream here as sort of like I think a lot of people actually use it to build along with me, which I completely encourage. So I know a lot of people pop it on and then they kind of go into lurk mode. And that is totally fine. Whatever makes you comfy and wanting to just come hang out. That's the whole whole thing here. So I'm just happy to have people to nerd out about housing with. So hopefully that hits. There we go. Minimum float. Let's put a couple more of these down just in case we want them. Also, again, just pointing it out, but so I had mentioned that I will be back later this week and we're going to continue this. So that will be on Wednesday at the same time, 4 to 6 p.m. PST, roughly 4 to 6 p.m. I always go at least 4 to 6 p.m., but oftentimes it goes over just because, you know, you get in the building zone and then you just, you know, when you're in the zone, you just got to keep going sometimes. You don't want to interrupt that flow. I think I have more Ingen wardrobes here somewhere, right? Pretty sure I got a bunch more of these. Or sideboards, rather. Search for item. There we go. There they are. I don't need to buy a bunch more of these, is why. You gotta go raid. No problem. Hey, have fun with the raiding. We'll catch you later. Maybe, hopefully Wednesday. This week is also Prominence Week. So, oh yeah, I guess for also, while I'm working on this, for anybody who is new to the stream, and maybe new to my stuff. So I do housing Mondays and Wednesdays every week. And then I also DJ in 14, as well as I own a nightclub. So I'm kind of like, I do like a split between the two, basically. So my nightclub is called Prominence, and it is open Mondays and Wednesdays and Sundays every other week. So this week is going to be a week that we do have Prominence. For anybody who is interested. There you go. There's the website for Prominence. This is my nightclub. And I built this myself. And then I DJ there now. So I DJ at a couple of clubs and stuff around if I get commissioned or I guess hired to perform elsewhere. But this Wednesday, after the housing stream, from 8 to 10 p.m. PST, I'll be DJing at that nightclub that I built. And there are a few pictures on that website, so you can, if you don't want to spoil it for yourself, then just come out to the club. But if you... I think the pictures don't really do it justice, though. I feel like you need to be there. But I highly recommend coming to check it out, too. There's the Wednesday one where we're inside the club, and there's the Sunday garden party where we're outside the club in the outdoor garden stage that I built. and we do more like chill melodic house music. Whereas the Wednesday night inside the club is more sort of high energy club music. And it's all like electronic kind of music vibe. So if you've never been to a 14 nightclub though, I recommend you come check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's very casual. I don't know. I know there's all sorts of different clubs and venues and stuff out there, but at least in my case, we try to really go for a really welcoming, fun, lighthearted atmosphere. And it's very much open to anybody, first timers or anything. So we'd love to have you come check it out. And feel free to, again, ask me any questions that you might have. Yeah, Mikairi, or Mika, please do. You should, if you can, please come out on Wednesday. I think that would be, especially if you're getting into housing too, it's one of those, it's a club that I am very proud of and have worked quite hard on creating. And I think it's a pretty interesting showcase of kind of what's possible in housing. So yeah, definitely worth coming to check out. Would love to have you. And heck, I mean, of course, I hope you love the music too. I think, I know I've converted a few people here who found me through housing, and now they do both. They come into nightlife stuff and they do the housing stuff. So we'd love to have you. And if you do need any help to get to the venue, well, it's in Lavender Bed, so you can literally run there as level 2. But if you need some help with glams or anything like that too, we got you. We got a lot of people here that can craft, and we can make any kind of glams and stuff. If you need to, say, like make an alt or something. But we also have DC travel now, so even better. Okay. Whew. All right. Okay, so you can see, I think what we're gonna try to go for here is, let's pull this out for a second. Okay, so if we put our false floor back in here, okay, let's imagine for a moment that we have, yeah. So we'd have the shelf here. Ooh, you know what could be cool? It's raising... I guess this does make me wonder if we want to drop these back down a little bit to maybe cover that up, or should we have something kind of popping through here, like a stripe of other color or something? That could be interesting. But we have like another lip of some sort here. I wonder, okay, I wonder if we use actually these, the sideboards, how much that pops up. Oh, it doesn't. Interesting, okay. So we could always use these sideboards and then use the Hingen... Oh, sorry, we use the wardrobes and then the sideboards just lift it up just to here. So that way they cover the gap here. And then this will cover the gap below. Okay, we might do that. Yeah, or a stripe of color, I think. So something that also is worth thinking about is the fact that we want to really think about the lighting and how we present the lighting here, right? So what I mean by that is let's do a little experiment with how the lighting can come through the bottom. So I think something that you often see a lot in Japanese, very minimalist kind of things, is they have the recessed lighting that just does a color wash up the wall, right? So I think in this case, I think there's a little bit of a gap that we actually have right here. And I wonder if we place lights here, if the light can just spill upward. And I think let's try that, right? So for example, let's go lighting, tabletop lighting. Let's use, so there's two different kinds of lighting we could use. One would be the Glade Lantern, which will give us a sort of general glow. So if I go right, hold on, let's turn grid snap. If I put it right here, that's not quite illuminating the way I want it to. Oh, wait, is it sunk through the floor? Oh, I want it to be on, wait, what? That's weird. Is this not a tabletop? Oh, it's not a tabletop surface, that's why. So I wanted it to be kind of like this, right? Where it's, there, you could see how if I put this just behind these Hingen sideboards, we might be able to get the light to just spill upward, but not actually see the light itself. And this is similar to, let me, wait, you know what? We just established that this is a tabletop surface. We can put it right here. Okay. So let's try that again. Okay, so if we put the Glade Lantern right here, right? Ideally, actually, it would be even lower. But, so think about the Glade Lantern. Right, if we do it, okay, here we go. If it was half in, but we just didn't even see this, it would give us a bit of the light spill. Very dramatic if we turn off the lights. The problem with the Glade Lantern is it also just illuminates everything. So if you take the Glade Lantern, you put it, like, for example, in here, right? You can see that the light spills out, even if it's actually getting blocked completely, right? The difference here is the Glade Lantern will do that, but for example, Alchemic Lantern actually emits sort of like vectored directional light. So if I put it inside something, it will largely hide the light, or it won't get the dramatic shadows that you have here. So do you see how there's a dynamic shadow that's being cast there? The Glade Lantern doesn't do this. And so I think that the fact that this is more directional light might give us more of the light splashing upward effect that we might want. Although we need to play around with this a bit. Because I really just want, I think I might need to push these all back a little bit farther to really give us a gap that you can't notice, but that will allow us to put lights there that just wash upward. Okay, let me do a little bit more with that idea. And you'll definitely try to make it to one of the events. In the off chance that you can't, is the house open for people to check out normally? No. So usually Prominence in particular is not open until I open it for club nights. If you really think you can't ever make it to anything, then I don't mind opening it up for you. But I usually like to just open it up when the club is actually open. Makes it a little more special for people to be able to kind of see it in the context of also with music and stuff, like it's a club, you know? So it happens every other week, Wednesdays and Sundays. Sundays are outside though. But actually, so this week we have an opening, and next week, in honor of LunarCon, and kind of just for fun, I'm actually going to be doing 2 special openings of Prominence, extended sets, or extended hours, and I'll be having a bunch of guest DJs. So that will actually be next Friday from 5 to 11 p.m. PST, and then Sunday from 4 to 7 p.m. PST. So that's the 29th and the 31st. So those maybe you can make those if you can't make the Wednesday and the Sunday this week. So those will be some special openings that normally don't happen, but they'll be, yeah, extended hours and extra DJs and more music and everything. So worth potentially jotting down in your calendar. Where did my stage panel go? Oh, there it went. There's one of them anyway. Let's go. Did that grab them all? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Is that much more of a space? I think that should be enough. Let's... disconnect those. And actually, so here we go. One of the things we were talked about, right, was having a little bit of a band of color. Okay, so that looks really crazy because of the texture glitching, but we can just move these back like a pixel. Not a pixel, just like a little bit more. Uh-oh. Yikes. Gotta turn the sensitivity on this mouse down a bit. Sometimes... Oh. Where is it? There it is. Is there a seam? I think there's still a seam. Oh, maybe not. Very, very, almost non-noticeable. Okay, so here we go. That's like what it might look like with a little band beneath it. I think something that could look even better though would be if we used the if we're going to do the band. I actually think we might want to put it above, and we might want to make it the borderline of these, the Hingen partitions. Which I've always really enjoyed just the base of the Hingen partitions. I think this is a really cool texture with the little like triangle looking things. So we might have it like up here as like the trim up the top. And then I might push these down or even add more of the bath tiles just to extend it to the bottom, just to make it look nice and clean. And then we can leave the color washing going upward. So let's try doing this. Okay. So where's my Riviera shelf? Okay, let's see here. Right, where if we can get this just to the point where this disappears, so this would be not visible. We can use the grid snap. There we go. Okay. So now let's turn our lights off. Right, and there. So what we're going to try to go for is... So we don't want that little pinpoint of light, but like maybe there. Right? There we go. See that illumination? So the fact that the Glade Lantern just emits light all over the place can be good and bad. Like in this case, it can be kind of good that you can hide it behind something and it just illuminates everything like it as if it's recessed lighting. And you don't really know where it's coming from. It doesn't really matter that it doesn't. You don't know where it's coming from. So here, let's use the Porksy to disconnect this. Okay. Okay. Here, let's like see if we can try another one here. Okay, like right there maybe. Okay. So let's see. Okay, and here we go again. Where is this one? It's like right there. It's like a touch farther out. Okay, I might need to make the lighting on that a bit more precise later, but that's okay. For right now, this is good. Okay, so there we go. You can see this coming together a bit, right? Let's see, does that actually have, there's a little knot, oh, there's a little bit that's sticking out there. There we go. Okay, so I think a big thing right now is that they're not all dyed the same color. So let's get some bone white. Bone white. Okay, so furnishing color. Dye. These are not all at the same height too. I need to fix that, but looking a little Soviet or something. With the red stripe there. I think we might need to change the color of those a bit, but we could play around with that. You know, a nice subtle brown or something. Reddish brown maybe? Mesa red? That looks kind of nice. Or just a lighter red. That looks kind of nice. I kind of like how that helps it illuminate a bit. Bit of orange, bit of red, more reddish. Like this is kind of nice. Goo bag, gooby bag, or shale. I think shale is. Which one can I just buy from the vendor there? Opal brown. Maybe I'll go with a bit more opal brown. I think that's a bit nicer looking. Opal brown. 2. Let's try 2 more and dye the sides here. Oh, these are very dark. I guess because of the lighting. Okay, that's looking a little better. It's not so red. And I think we can even dye the locker, right? So the locker could be much lighter looking. I think which we might want to do. We can play with the lighting on that too. Okay, oh, and then let's test this out with the lighting. So like, let's try, there's the pendant light, there's also the factory light. So there we go. There's that really museum look, right? With the pinpoint light up at top. So we could hide this light in something, so that way you just get the nice little circle coming down below. Like that. Let's see. Or there's the pendant. Let's see, pendant light. I think the pendant light might work a little nicer. Oh, there we go, yeah. Yeah, that's such a nice looking, just diffused look. Like that. Okay. Yeah, the more I look at it though, I think this stripe kind of doesn't quite have the it's a cool, this is actually a really cool museum look. Like Museum of Natural History, I think. But it's not quite getting the minimalist sort of Asian vibe that I was looking for. So I might take out the stripe and just move these down a bit. I think it's just not quite, it's not quite what we're going for here. But it's in the general vein, I think, of what we're going for. Okay, so let's do, I think I have a factory. Don't I have a factory light somewhere? Really? I guess I don't. Okay. Decorations. Okay, so just so we kind of can see how this works, right? It's pretty much that, right? And then let's see, where pendant light. Okay, it looks kind of dark and shadowed, but then bada boom. There we go. See, that's the look. Okay. So this is, let's take a look at our reference sort of material again, right? So if we look at, oh, let me shrink that down a little bit so we can see both side by side. Okay, but let's go move this to the side. Okay. Never mind my ears sticking up there, but okay. Okay, so see what I mean though a little bit by, I think that we might be, while I like the look of the stripe, I think that's a really good look for certain scenarios. I think I like how clean though these things are, right? Like for example, I think I'd go for this look, right? I think we can do this. We have our bathroom tiles and then it just meets, I'm seeing now that it's a contrast, right? We have that very dark, the dark wood, and then the I'm seeing that repetition, right? See, there's a dark surface and a lighter wall, dark surface, lighter wall, dark surface. You know, and I like that. I think that's kind of what we want to go for. So I think what I'm gonna do is bring those bathroom tiles down and or the Hingen sideboards up, and that way we can create this duality of the dark surface to stand on and then the lighter wall behind it. I do really like that. I think it is important that it is that, generally speaking, that it has the lighter wall because it really lets the delicate flowers in the front then get sort of silhouetted against the light backdrop. Or in this case, it's just both really light. So we'll have to play around with the lighting, right? This is a bit more of a daytime kind of lighting scenario. Ooh, that's really cool, where they have the like a gradient of color going on. Just on the backdrop though, right? And kind of like letting the flowers in front just do their own thing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, this is a really, I think this is a great start though. A very interesting direction, I think. Let's see. Let's try just pushing these things up a bit. Oops, that's not it. Where'd my Riviera? Oh, there it is. I need my Riviera wall shelf. Okay. There we go. Maybe even one more, huh? Just to really... I think because we just really want to make sure that you can't see that bit below here. Although I think maybe that's a matter of closing the gap a bit. Let's just go one higher, why not? We can try it. Okay. I want to see you have some factory lights. No worries, Miko. I think I'll grab some of the lights like off stream. Very much appreciated though. I guess also maybe worth asking too, because I know some people joined a little bit later. But does anybody is anybody curious and not know what ikebana is, which is like the thing that we're doing right now? If anybody would like an explanation, I explained it at the very beginning of the stream, but I understand that some people came later. So if anybody would like another explanation of it, I'd be happy to explain it again. Or really, if you have questions about anything, I mean, I'm happy to answer whatever questions you may have, even if it's not necessarily that specific one. Oh, why are these all... Like, I'm trying to use grid snap, but it doesn't seem like it's wanting to behave properly. Right? Like, why is it all off from each other? That's weird. That's annoying. It's okay, we can fix that. Ugh. Oh crap. That's so unfortunate when that happens. When you move it back to your inventory accidentally. Because now it's not like aligned. And to get it perfectly aligned. Oh god. The worst. Sometimes going too fast, this happens. And it's no good. No good. Let's You gotta head out? Okay. Just realized how tired you are and have to do a few turns in before. Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much for your help earlier with the lockers, Miko. I really appreciate that. Thanks for coming by. Oh yeah, and I realize I'm going a little over, so I'll probably just float these last couple things and call it for today. Yeah, thank you very much for coming by. Hopefully see you on Wednesday. I think probably see you for housing / prominence stuff. Take care, have fun. Sweet, we'll see you then, Miko. So yeah, I'm gonna start, I think, wrapping up the stream for today. Again, I might kind of finish building out some of this backdrop off stream just so that way next time we can really go all in on, I think, like lighting and building out the actual floral presentations that are gonna go on these stands. I think it's important that if we are gonna do a stream like this relating to ikebana and to this art form, that this is a big part of it, is very much creating the setting with which these are presented in too, because I think again a big thing with ikebana is refinement and thought going into all aspects of the art piece, including the vase, the proportions of stuff, the lighting, the backdrop, its setting, everything like that is considered. So I think you can't really, it's one of those things where to half-ass the backdrop for this would be to kind of do the art form a bit of a disservice. Oops, why is that not working? I can see it's off. Oh, I'm not hitting the center of the wardrobe, I think. Okay, I gotta perfect that later, but for now that'll work. Rotate all of these to make sure they stay afloat. There we go, that's a little better. Yeah, there we go. And it's just a matter of getting the right lighting in place. So like factory, or I wonder if these actually would be interesting. but just hidden. Oh yeah, they give a really nice... That's actually really nice. Might use this. So one thing we can do is use a lip that hangs down above this that basically hides where the light is, but just allows it to spill down onto the actual art piece. I do really like that, because that really dramatic looking shadow. Yeah, I might do that. Create a false lip right here. And then we have these coming into play. Where did those wardrobes go? There they are. Who do we still have here with us? Out of curiosity. Are you guys building? I know a bunch of you guys have mentioned that you were working on builds and stuff earlier in the stream. How are they going for anybody who is still building with us? There we go, look at that. Okay, so... Hi. Hey! Hello, everyone. Alright. Hello, hello. Still lurking here, but... Oh, yeah! Dome and Enclave, so I can get windows for the club. Nice. Yeah, the Dome and Enclave is one of those things you can't cheese. You gotta just do it week after week, right? So... Makari, still here too. Running group... Oh, you're running group maps with FC, Liara says. How is it going? Have you guys gotten any... Did you guys get to the final room yet at all? Let's see. Where is... Okay, and so we can see here... we did like this. Yeah, see if we do this. And then we hide all of those. We would just have a really beautifully illuminated wall there, I think. And that also lets us do this too, right? Having these down here. Oh, they're kind of shadowed though. Okay, I think we need to figure out a little bit of a way, yeah, to make sure these are illuminated, but yeah, illuminated a little bit better. Maybe a spotlight on them. Yeah, because if they're like that, that look has that really nice shadowing on it. Okay. Yeah, I'm really liking that. I think that's getting a little bit much. That's much more in the vein of what we want. Calf leather dropped, nice. Got to 4, but no full clears yet. Ah, soon, hopefully. Good luck. Is someone looking for the leather, like the jacket or anything? Anybody building out there? Yeah, I think I need to clean up some of these seams and stuff, because part of the big thing about this build has got to be extremely precise. Oh, I wonder also too about rotating the locker. So right now it's a little bit on it's the thin way, but there's also the thicker way. If you rotate this like this, it's a little bit of a wider looking locker, but then you see the top with that. So we need to use two flipped against each other to cover up that seam. But I do wonder if that would be at all nicer looking if you had a bit of a wider stand. So flip these opposing to each other. And then we go like that, but then you need to sort of just float it up. For now, we can leave it normal. Also, I think, okay, just for argument's sake, I think what we need here is the Sylphic vase. Where is it? This one. Oh, the carrot niblets are selling. Beautiful. Where is it? Heck. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. There. That looks much more Asian too. Just the type of flower. But again, we need to clean this up. It's not quite where I want it yet. But if I tilt my camera down, there you can kind of start seeing the look. One of the newbies got it. I'm not sure if they'll sell it. Oh, cool. Got another cap drop and I got it. Congrats. Congrats on the leather. Let's see. Let me take a screenshot of this for the thumbnail. Okay, cool. I think I might pop off here right now. And then we'll pick this back up again on Wednesday. Like I said, I might do some building and some adjusting off stream, and I'm working on a few other projects and stuff for the stream, both for housing as well as for prominence and the nightclub stuff. But yeah, I hope hopefully this is an interesting stream for everybody. Something a little different. And hopefully this has you interested to kind of see where this all goes on Wednesday. Because I think, again, right now, even though that flower vase already looks quite nice, I think that there's more we can do with this to keep building out this, keep building it out and make it look even more interesting and even more custom and everything. So I'll keep experimenting with this, and I'm going to probably do a little more research too and try to look at a bunch more reference art and see the sort of textures and colors and stuff like that people tend to use. But I think this will be interesting. Yeah, it'll be cool. And hopefully maybe you learned something, right? Like maybe you picked up some new techniques and stuff for housing, but also I think, yeah, there's a lot to appreciate though with just the art form that is ikebana. So worth taking a look at too. There's a lot of really, really beautiful sort of zen qualities to the art form, and just the mastery that people have over this craft and this style. So definitely worth checking out. And Mikari, Mika, thank you so much for coming to the stream today. Really glad to have you here. If you like this vibe, then yeah, this is the stream for you. Every Monday, Wednesday, 4 to 6 p.m. We try to do something... I'm trying to do something different roughly every week, where we kind of have some different concepts going on. So like last time we did the googly eyes. This week we're doing this. I think we'll try to be doing another Japanese themed one soon. Next week, again, reminder, everybody, next week we have the July housing tour, so that's going to be really cool. And for anybody who doesn't know, basically, it's exactly what it sounds like, which is we're going to tour a bunch of builds, and I'm going to be giving my sort of live reactions to most of them, because I've never seen most of these, or any of them potentially. And so I'll be sort of live reacting and talking about them, and, pointing out some interesting aspects of them. And just generally, it'll be a great time. And you can come and join along, by the way. So if you don't have an alt or a main on Crystal, make one now. So that way you are ready to rock and roll next week when we go tour those builds. And with data travel, with one character, we can go to all the places. So it'll be across all of Crystal DC. I need to see what people have submitted, but, Ether, Primal, Crystal. So... you're encouraged to come and join with me along as I visit the builds. So hopefully you will enjoy something like that. There we go. Now I'm on the floor. That's fine. But yeah. You have to get your entry submitted, Liara. Yeah, please do. I ask that everybody try to submit their entries by this Wednesday in my Discord. So again, if you're not in the Discord and would like to join it, there is the link again. The links to all my other socials are also down below in the description. Although I might as well just link them here. So there you go. There's my link tree, so you can see the links to all my socials, the YouTube channel, my Twitter, Discord, blah, 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 all of them. Would love to have you join in on stuff. Let your friends know to come along on the tour and or submit a build. First and foremost, the tour builds are all basically submitted by members of my community. And then if we need any extras, if I have any extras that I really think we got to see, I may sample a few in that I just have seen around Twitter. But first and foremost, I always like to make sure that we see builds from here in my community. Because, yeah, you guys work hard on these, and I really like to show them off to everybody and let you guys, each have some little time in the spotlight, as well as it's really cool that right now in the community, specifically in my community, I think we have like a really cool range of like design level where like we have a bunch of people who just started design, just started housing, and then we have a bunch of people who are sort of housing veterans who have done it for a couple years now, or certainly have done a lot of builds in the last year or two. And so we get like a really cool range of builds that go from, really basic to much more complex, sort of intricate builds. And I think that's becomes a really cool display of just sort of what's possible. And you couldn't remember the address or you would have entered earlier. Yeah, no worries, Liara. Like I said, you have till Wednesday. And I asked that it be by Wednesday, but like, of course, if someone needs like an extra day or something like that, that's not gonna be too big of a deal. The main thing is I need time to make sure that I can put the tour together, because I like to make a little tour schedule and just make sure that if we need more builds for a particular server or something like that, I have a couple extra days to ask for more people to submit for those. So yeah. And no worries, Tessa, if your club isn't done by the Wednesday for submitting, You can always submit it for a future tour. It's not like this will not be the last tour. Certainly. Probably at least I'm trying to do a tour every 2 months, if not every month. So don't worry, you'll have plenty of time. And oh, Liara, it's Wednesday is your birthday. Wow, well, that'll be awesome. Wait, this Wednesday is your birthday, or do you mean next Wednesday is your birthday? During the tour? Turn the lights back up. Aramar's got the right idea. This Wednesday. Well, yeah. Hey, come out to Prominence. I'll happily give you a birthday shout out. I'll give you an early birthday cheer. But yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday then, Liara. And everybody here. Like I said, I think this will be the end of the stream for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all the new people who came to join. Thank you for everybody who followed. We had a bunch of new followers today, which is awesome. A bunch of new friends. Hopefully see you guys in the Discord, or if not, we'll see you on maybe some future streams. And, oh, I see, yeah. I see we got Iris, we got Mika in here. Oh, we even got DJ Gravity in here as well. New people in the Discord. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'll see you guys in the Discord then. Yes, exactly, Liara. Of course, we had to have in Prominence for your birthday. So invite your friends. You guys can sit up at the VIP table right next to the DJ booth and pop some bottles and go crazy. So, I'll make sure that there's a VIP space for you there. Sweet. All right. Woo. All right, guys. That'll be all for me tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Wherever you are, I don't know, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And see you guys on Wednesday. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a great rest of the night. Let me see, actually, if there's any person streaming something kind of chill. I never am quite sure whether to raid someone after these or not, because I feel like I don't want to let. I feel like sometimes it's a little strange that we have this super chill housing stream and then we raid into someone who's like doing some high energy something. Feels like it kind of might disrupt your vibe. But let's see who is around here. I wish there was more housing people. Some of you folks should start streaming housing, then I can raid into you. New chapters. Callie Valentine, Raise Wire. Oh yeah, and also the VOD for this stream will be up on YouTube shortly. Hopefully, I don't know, a couple days. So ideally in the next 2 days before the Wednesday stream, so. Which plays Final Fantasy? Man, interesting. There is no like... Okay. I'll raid us over to Dark Divinity, because we got some friends over at Dark Divinity. Maybe. Yeah, why not? So, just warning you guys, we're gonna raid us into a DJ stream. So this is one example of nightlife, I suppose. It'll be over on Crystal, so you're welcome to go check it out. But just warning you guys, in case you need to turn your volume down or anything like that. Who is here? DJ Blinkies. Okay. Again, everybody, just warning you, I'm about to raid us over to DJ Blinkies at Dark Divinity Nightclub to get your night started. Oh boy. Okay, this is going to be quite a bit of a mood shift. But... okay, again, fair warning. Alright, enjoy the music, enjoy the party. Okay. Bye again, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Loud music incoming. Warning, warning, loud music incoming.